In 1973, a high-ranking intelligence officer walked into a classified research lab at the Stanford Research Institute with a top-secret assignment directly from the CIA. The mission was not to spy on the Kremlin, and it wasn't to track Soviet submarines. Codenamed Project 8200, the operation had one objective: investigate why satellite arrays and deep penetration radar kept detecting massive electromagnetic signals coming from deep inside four isolated mountain ranges across the globe. When the CIA declassified over 12 million pages of files in 2017, buried inside was a blueprint that intelligence agencies never intended the public to decipher. This is the suppressed story of the military's search for deep subterranean installations, hidden right under our feet. During the height of the Cold War, the United States military constructed the Ballistic Missile Early Warning System, a network of high-powered radar installations designed to detect incoming Soviet missiles over the Arctic. One of the most vital installations was Clear Air Force Station in Alaska. Beginning in the late 1960s, radar operators and seismic monitoring stations began registering impossible anomalies near Mount Hayes, a jagged glaciated peak standing nearly 14,000 feet tall in the Alaska Range. Signals bounced erratically. Electronic instruments inside high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft experienced sudden localized power drains whenever flying within a 50-mile perimeter of the mountain. Initially, the Pentagon feared the Soviet Union had established a clandestine radar jamming facility directly on American territory. But as seismic sounding teams surveyed the mountain, they realized the source wasn't on the summit. It was deep beneath the bedrock, thousands of feet below the permafrost, generating power levels that rivaled commercial nuclear reactors. Unable to drill through thousands of feet of solid granite without alerting international observers, the CIA turned to an experimental and highly controversial division: the Science and Technology Directorate's Classified Parapsychology program at the Stanford Research Institute. Under the supervision of laser physicist Dr. Harold Puthoff and Russell Targ, the program utilized remote viewing, a disciplined, coordinates-based protocol where trained operatives attempted to describe distant, shielded locations. Among their most accurate operatives was Pat Price, a former police commissioner from Burbank, California, known for pinpointing secret Soviet research facilities with chilling precision. In 1973, CIA handlers handed Price a blind envelope containing nothing more than geographic coordinates in the Alaskan wilderness. Latitude, 63 degrees, 37 minutes north. Longitude, 146 degrees, 44 minutes west. What Price described over the next several days shocked the project monitors. He didn't describe snow or ice. He described a multi-level subterranean facility carved directly inside Mount Hayes, operated by entities using advanced electromagnetic propulsion systems. As the investigation deepened, Pat Price revealed that Mount Hayes was not an isolated installation. According to the declassified files of Project 8200, it was part of a coordinated global network consisting of four primary deep Earth relay stations. First, Mount Hayes, Alaska, the primary communications and electronic interception hub for the Northern Hemisphere. Second, Mount Zeal, in the desolate Northern Territory of Australia, located within striking distance of the ultra-secret joint U.S. Australian satellite facility at Pine Gap. Third, Mount Perdido, situated in the Pyrenees along the border of Spain and France, a heavily guarded subterranean complex beneath impenetrable limestone peaks. And fourth, Mount Inyangani, the highest peak in Zimbabwe, a location historically infamous among locals for unexplained electromagnetic disturbances and travelers vanishing without a trace. Price drafted detailed technical drawings of the interiors: massive spherical structures, power conduits that functioned without physical wires, and localized gravity manipulation terminals. The CIA sent these dossiers up the chain of command to DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, directors. The question was terrifying. Who built them? How long had they been there? And what was their purpose? In July 1975, just as Project 8200 was expanding its analysis of the subterranean network, Pat Price suddenly died under deeply suspicious circumstances in Las Vegas. Officially ruled a sudden heart attack, no autopsy was permitted, and his personal investigative notes vanished from his hotel room before local authorities arrived. Following Price's death, the operational files on the 4 mountain complexes were systematically classified under SAP, Special Access Programs, the highest tier of U.S. government compartmentalization. For decades, the existence of Project 8200 was dismissed as a myth, until thousands of Project STARGATE documents were quietly released into the CIA FOIA reading room in 2017. Independent geologists investigating Mount Hayes have continued to report magnetic field anomalies that cannot be explained by standard mineral deposits. To this day, the surrounding airspace remains under tight military surveillance by nearby Fort Greely. Were the files of Project 8200 an elaborate Cold War counterintelligence test? Or did military intelligence stumble upon an ancient, non-human subterranean infrastructure already embedded in the planet? If you want us to investigate the declassified files of Mount Zeal and Pine Gap next, let us know in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join us on our next deep dive into the archives.